Hi, this is Shree with Shree's Creative, and my grandson came up with the idea of doing an owl painting in resin, and he drew this out. And this is my grandson, Hayden.
Hi, I'm Hayden.
And what are you doing here, Hayden?
Um, we're we decided that we would go over the hard lines on the drawing with hot glue, just to separate the colors when she's pouring the resin. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the hot glue gun and just laying pretty much a barrier around the eye. Yeah.
Sorry for all the jumping around. Still learning this process. So anyway, that's what he's doing here. Sorry about the dog. As you know, my dog Abadu always likes to interrupt. And you can see me a little bit in the background with that cup. I'm mixing up some paint, and I'm using magic yellow that's on my website and mixing it with some acrylic binder, and it acts just like paint when you use it. I'm also going to be using some titanium white here to first do the undercolor so the yellow really stands out. So I'm mixing that up as he's glue gunning. Alright, so you'll see a little bit of my top head of my salt and pepper hair. I'm so sorry about this. You can see it off and on in the video, and it's really hard with two people to know where the camera view is and to keep it out of view.
And we're still learning where to mount the camera and different ways to mount the camera. So obviously this one has its upside of you can see the whole or the majority of the piece, but since it's above our heads obstruct that view sometimes. So it can be annoying, but for the most part you get to see the whole piece.
So here I'm laying down titanium white to get that bright undercolor. Trying to be really careful going around the pupil.
And I'm laying more glue down on the sort of like the eyebrow forehead area, because that's all going to be a sort of marble of brown, black, and white. And we don't want that getting down under the eye. So again, I'm using this technique of putting down glue before you pour. One thing about this hot glue is it leaves, I mean, as any hot glue project, it leaves strings. And so just like hair or dust getting in the resin, that those strings can mess it up. So you want to make sure that you don't leave any of those behind. So I'm going around. I know that you can't see it because some of the piece is cut off by the camera, but I'm scraping off the strings of hot glue.
And there I was just drying the paint so I can put the layer of yellow on. And this is a perfect color yellow, the brightness and the shimmer I'm really happy with. And this will be the same color as the resin. And once again, I apologize for my head.
So up on the top there, you can just barely see it. Okay, so I'm going over the lines of hot glue with a black paint marker so that they stand out. We didn't try to hide the glue in this one. I'm sure that that's something that you can do if you don't want to be able to see the hot glue in your art. But we wanted it to stand out just because it fit so well with that eyelid and the eyebrow. So I'm going over the clear glue with a black paint marker.
I believe that brand was the Krylon. It sticks really well.
By brown, you mean the wood? What brown are you talking about?
Did I say brown?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It sticks to the hot glue really well.
The what? The wood?
No, the paint marker.
Oh, okay. You just said the brown. The only brown thing in the in the camera is
sorry.
wood.
Anyway, this is our first video together, and it's been fun to do and experience.
Yeah. So I'm still just touching up the glue. She's painting, or you can tell them what you're doing.
But basically, we did have that just colored in, the people colored in with black, and some was pencil, so I decided to just put an acrylic binder over it so that pencil wouldn't come up. We could have used black paint, but since it was already colored in, that's why I just covered it with the acrylic binder. And acrylic binder is basically just paint without the color in it, and it dries clear. And there's my head again.
I also I went around the pupil, just the edge of that pupil, to make sure that, just to make it look more round and more defined.
And here I'm just prepping. All I'm going to do is the pupil in this segment. I want the pupil perfect, so I'm making sure this is level so the resin doesn't slide down and make an odd shape. Okay, so here I'm just carefully pouring the pupil. I'm going slow and steady because I want it perfect, of course. And I'm also getting underneath in the eyelid, which I might have already done and cut the video. Sorry for that. So as you see, I didn't pour to the whole thing. I poured closely to the edge and just am pushing with the popsicle stick out.
Like I said, this is our first video together, so any feedback is much appreciated. Very welcome. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button.
And subscribe so that you can be alerted to part 2 and part 3.
Well, actually, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified, because I guess subscribing doesn't mean anything anymore.
That's true. So you can see Hayden, he's so hot gluing around the beak and coloring that in with the marker and getting those trails off of hot glue. And we both appreciate you watching so much. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. Have a great day.
And see you soon.